This weather pattern is about to flip in a big way, and it could turn dangerous fast across multiple parts of the United States. We're watching a major shift where warmer air is building across the east while colder air digs into the west, and that combination is creating a setup that favors multiple storm systems. The first storm arrives late this week into the weekend across the south-central U.S. and parts of the southeast, bringing threats for damaging winds, small hail, and even the possibility of isolated tornadoes. But that's only the beginning. A deeper dip in the jet stream is expected along the west coast next week, setting up a long-duration storm cycle with heavy rain, strong winds, and several feet of snow in the mountains. Let's break down exactly what's coming and when it could impact you. Take a look at this timeline because things start changing quickly. As we head into tomorrow, two different systems begin developing. The first is a smaller disturbance moving across the southern states, spreading rainfall across the southeast. The second system is more concerning. That one has the potential to strengthen into a severe weather threat as it moves across the south. At the same time, energy begins building along the west coast, and watch this closely. Strong banding begins to develop, increasing the chances for heavy snowfall, powerful winds, and periods of soaking rain out west. Now let's talk about timing. This southern storm is expected to move through Friday into Saturday, gradually intensifying as it tracks east. As it strengthens, the environment becomes supportive of severe storms and gusty winds. Take a look at this pattern signal. We're shifting into a negative PNA phase, which typically favors troughing along the west coast and storm development across the southern United States. By the following week, this pattern becomes even stronger, pushing repeated waves of moisture and storm systems into the west, while also sending disturbances eastward toward the central and eastern states. Some of those later storms are still too far out to nail down exact details, so we'll focus on what's coming first. Watch this cold air source building behind the western trough. That colder air is a major driver for heavy snowfall potential. If you look at the upper-level pattern, you can see energy rotating through the atmosphere, triggering storms across the south before shifting toward the southeast. Some leftover energy could even bring light snow into parts of New England as temperatures drop. Meanwhile, the storm striking the west coast tomorrow becomes the big player moving forward. By Friday and Saturday, it helps trigger severe weather across the south-central states before spreading east toward the deep south. That system will carry threats for damaging winds and possibly isolated tornadoes as it moves toward the east coast. Then comes the larger pattern next week. A deep trough is expected to carve into the western United States, bringing intense winds, heavy precipitation, and significant snowfall. Higher elevations could see anywhere from 7 to 10 feet of snow, while downstream energy spreads new storm systems into the north-central U.S. and beyond. This is shaping up to be a multi-storm pattern, not just one or two events. Let's go to the calendar view so you can see the timing more clearly. From Thursday through Saturday, impacts will focus on Texas, Oklahoma, parts of Louisiana, and Arkansas. Then from Sunday into Monday, that system shifts across the southeast, mid-Atlantic, and northeast. During that phase, precipitation type becomes uncertain. Some areas could see freezing rain, snow, or thunderstorms depending on how temperatures evolve. Beyond that, from roughly the 15th through the 21st, heavy precipitation is expected to hammer the west coast with strong winds and heavy mountain snow, and overnight model trends are strengthening that signal. Now let's zoom into the severe weather potential. By late Friday into Saturday, moisture levels surge across the southern states. Dew points could climb into the 60s across parts of Texas and the Gulf Coast, while lower 50s spread into Tennessee and Kentucky. That moisture, combined with warming temperatures, creates fuel for thunderstorms. Look at these temperature maps. Many areas across Texas and the Deep South will surge into the 70s, with some spots even touching the 80s. That warmth helps energize the atmosphere, allowing storms to intensify. Saturday appears to be the peak threat period. Lift and instability increase dramatically, supporting stronger thunderstorms late Saturday across Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, and Oklahoma, before spreading east overnight into Sunday across Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and parts of the Florida Panhandle. Take a look at this lightning projection. It shows widespread thunderstorm activity, and while the signal suggests frequent lightning and some hail potential, it doesn't strongly support extremely large hail at this time. There is still potential for moderate-sized hail across northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas Saturday evening before storms gradually weaken moving east. Remember, we are still nearly a week away, so adjustments are possible. Now look at the wind profile. Around Saturday afternoon, low-level winds begin strengthening significantly across eastern Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas. By evening, stronger winds extend into Mississippi, Tennessee, and Kentucky. That increasing wind energy helps storms organize and rotate, increasing the risk for damaging wind gusts and possibly tornadoes, especially along the southern flank of the storm system. As this system continues east Saturday night into Sunday, damaging wind potential spreads across the deep south and eventually toward the Tennessee Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. Depending on temperatures, northern areas could transition into freezing rain or snow as storms continue across the southeast. Let's compare the major models. The European model shows a stronger storm line developing Saturday morning with severe weather risks continuing through the afternoon and evening. That setup could support fast-moving squall lines capable of producing damaging winds and quick spin-up tornadoes. The southern side of the system also maintains hail and brief tornado potential. By Sunday evening, precipitation types may shift. Areas across the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic could see freezing rain or snow, while storms continue across the southeast. Meanwhile, California experiences additional waves of storms, though they appear less severe than the southern U.S. outbreak. Watch these pressure systems. By early Monday, one storm center is projected across the northeast, while another develops just off the California coast. This signals the beginning of a storm train that could send multiple systems into the west over several days. The newest European model update continues showing similar trends, including wintry precipitation potential across the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes. Meanwhile, the GFS also supports severe storm development, although it pushes the strongest impact slightly farther south and reduces the magnitude of one previously stronger storm scenario. However, it continues showing repeated storm development along the west coast. Looking at severe weather outlook trends, the National Weather Service has not issued official risk areas yet, but early outlooks from Colorado State University are already highlighting a 5% severe threat and areas that could expand. If current trends continue, a slight risk may develop across southern Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi due to strengthening upper-level winds. Other impacts are also shifting slightly. Moderate wind risk areas have been adjusted, but strong wind potential remains widespread. Gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour are possible across the southern states and Tennessee Valley, while mountain regions could see wind gusts exceeding 60 to 70 miles per hour, with isolated peaks possibly higher. Snowfall projections remain similar overall. Moderate snowfall risk areas have expanded across northern California and southern Oregon, while high-elevation snowfall threats in California continue increasing. Over the next 5 days, interior New England could see 3 to 5 inches, with higher elevations approaching 6 to 7 inches. Meanwhile, heavy snow continues building across the northern Rockies and into Canada next week. Looking farther out, long-range guidance suggests a warmer pattern could reduce widespread snow potential in some eastern areas, but precipitation behind those warmer periods could still create dangerous travel due to ice and mixed precipitation across the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and Northeast after this weekend. Now, take a look at rainfall threats. From roughly the 16th through the 22nd, heavy rainfall risks increased dramatically across California, with moderate and high flood risk zones developing. Storms may repeatedly track into the southwest, raising flooding concerns, especially during the middle of next week when the trough reaches peak intensity. 7-day rainfall outlooks from the Weather Prediction Center show widespread precipitation stretching from the mid-Atlantic through the southern states and along the west coast. Longer-range European projections extend heavy rainfall deeper into California over the next 8 to 9 days. Finally, let's talk about temperatures.
Today, much of the southwest, central U.S., and southeast will experience warmer conditions, while the northeast stays locked in freezing temperatures with dangerous wind chills. Tomorrow, temperatures dip again across northern regions before warming spreads back across the south and southeast. By midweek, colder air pushes across the northern U.S. once again, creating additional wind chill threats. That cooling trend continues into Thursday and Friday as the storm system moves east, creating uncertainty about whether you'll see rain, sleet, snow, or freezing rain across the Ohio Valley and Northeast. I'll continue tracking this developing pattern very closely because there are multiple moving pieces and the forecast will keep evolving. Make sure you stay weather aware, especially if you live across the south, west coast, or northeast, where impacts could be significant. If you want the latest updates as this pattern develops, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next forecast. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll have another update very soon.